Hey guys, welcome back to the botcast number 3, the first in 2017. So first of all, Happy New Year. It took us about an hour now to go live on Facebook to some technical issues.
Technology,
yeah. So now we're here. So David, what are we talking about today?
Today we want to talk a bit about promotion and different geographics of messaging networks. And I mean, you're probably one of the best person to talk to in terms of promotion of your chatbot, because Swelly has around 1.7 million users right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. So what do you do to promote your chatbot?
So, I mean, first of all, what we do now and what we did to start with, which is more interesting for you guys, I guess. So we started with putting the bot out there, but I think like the most important thing at the beginning is to actually ask people for feedback, because you grow a bot right now in most platforms by actually having a good retention and having a lot of people using it, right? So at the beginning, really focus on your product. I mean, always focus on product, but at the beginning it's really crucial to actually find use cases that people can use on a daily basis. Ideally, I mean, we all know chatbot retention, that's a different story, but for the beginning, really focus on getting feedback and implement it.
How did you get your first users on the chatbot actually?
The first few users.
First
users are really like sharing the bot on Facebook and asking other people to share it and talk about it.
And where did you share it? Like special groups, just in your bots group, on your timeline?
We started on our private profile,
yeah.
But then asked people to share it in groups as well. The important thing is here, like when you share it with a friend, every friend will tell you, oh, you did so much of great effort and you did such a great job on building this thing, it's awesome. So really try that your friends don't really necessarily know that it's yours, because they can give you honest feedback without thinking too much about it. Alright. That's how it works.
Thank you, David. So after you get your first users, what was your next step? And what was your approach on the different platforms? Because Swelly is not only out there for Messenger, you also have a version for Kik and for Viber and for Telegram, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So there are actually two more things that are really important for the beginning. So the first is actually finding the correct platform. So for us, even though we started on Facebook, we had the first early and most important successes for us at Kik, because Kik just has the perfect target audience for us. Mostly teenagers, 40% of US teens use Kik. So they're just way more engaged on Swelly, even still. Right now we have more users on Facebook, but still the Kik audience is better when it comes to engagement and retention. And the second thing, find one thing that actually works. There are so many things you can do on ads and promotions, but I think as a startup, as a small team, you really need to focus on one thing that actually works.
Yeah.
And for us, this one thing was influencers.
Yeah.
Working with people who have an audience on Instagram, YouTube and other platforms, making them use our bot and talk about it, but actually using it really, not just like talking about, hey, use this product real quick, but more, I'm a user, you can follow me now, you can help me decide, you can vote on my content, you can ask me questions. That's what people really care about.
So you have actual influencers who use your product to talk to their audience.
Exactly, yeah.
So speaking of different platforms, you already mentioned Kik and Facebook. So Facebook, for example, has no official bot store. Mm-hmm. Kik has an official bot shop, right? Mm-hmm. And also Telegram doesn't have an official store, but they have some kind of unofficial store, which is actually pretty huge, and I think you can get a lot of traffic from there. And for Viber, they have their public account, and you can search for these public profiles within Viber. But on Facebook Messenger, you can also get featured. Mm-hmm. How did you do that?
How to get featured?
How to get featured on Facebook Messenger?
I mean, that's easy and on the same time really, really difficult. So the easy part is how to actually get featured is somebody at Facebook looks at your bot, basically reviews it, clicks a button and it says featured, right? The trick is really first to impress the people at Facebook. The second thing is to actually stay up and stay featured, because that's what you want, right? We have basically permanently featured for months now. And so really focus on the retention part. It doesn't matter if you have 1,000 or 100k users. It's really about how many people come back, how long they're talking to your bot. Is it a thing where they click once, or for us, we share roughly 1.5 million messages back and forth every day. So I think it's really about the engagement of the user that they really care about, and that's a simple and easy to understand use case for an audience, for a big audience, broad audience.
What do you think about listing platforms? For example, there's Botlist. You can put your bot on there. You have a profile for your own bot. What do you think of that? How many users do you got from Botlist? Do you measure that? Did you launch on Product Hunt?
So in terms of Botlist, I mean, we love the platform, we love the idea. So shout out again to Botlist, they're great. Thing is, I can't really tell how many users we got from Botlist, but we got a lot of attention through Botlist. So it really helps us to being listed there, gives us a kind of a relevance, and as there is no discovery, there's, when you talk to press, when you talk to investors, when you talk to anybody who's not in the space, share the Botlist link and they can explore and learn more about your product.
I think that's pretty cool, because actually just putting a website online for your own bot is pretty hard to discover, whereas you have Botlist or especially Product Hunt, these two platforms where you can engage with the community and answer questions from the users, and you have kind of a listing or like a product page there for your own bot. And I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, and in terms of Product Hunt, I mean, we launched on Product Hunt, so that's the first thing we did to get feedback by a broad audience. And I think Product Hunt is still great if you're building something new. You can get a lot of feedback in basically no time. It's also free. So talking about geographics, so you mentioned Telegram. What is the target audience of Telegram?
Telegram, as far as I know, they're mostly geeks from Russia, and around 25% of the users are from the Middle East. And then you also have other platforms like Viber. They're pretty strong in Central Eastern Europe, but also in Southeast Asia, like for example in the Philippines and Indonesia. Messenger is more or less a first world messenger. It's pretty popular in US and Europe. And then you have some geographic markets like China. It's kind of a walled garden because there's only WeChat in China.
Yeah.
And then you have some other Southeast Asian messenger networks like Line, which is pretty strong in Japan and North Korea. South Korea. Wrong Korea.
Yeah.
And they try to move into Europe and US, but for now they said they won't make more effort to move into the US because it's just too hard. And then you have some other messengers like KakaoTalk and Kik, which is popular among teens in US and I think also in Australia and New Zealand.
So now knowing the geographics, how do I actually decide what is the perfect geographic or perfect audience for my bot?
That's really hard to say.
Okay.
I think if your target audience is not Asian, then you probably don't have to bet an eye on Line, WeChat or whatsoever. Really interesting, I think, is Viber, because they're strong in Europe and in Russia and Southeast Asia. So it's like a kind of a mixed audience. And Messenger, because Messenger is actually putting a lot of effort in promoting their bot platform. And I think you can get out a lot of PR right now of Messenger because they want to promote their platform, they want to show the best bots on the platform, and I think you can get a lot out of it.
And also they want to have more bot developers, which that is the biggest challenge for the platforms right now. So
totally.
If you're building a good use case, it's a win-win situation when they promote you. So they get to see some great examples.
But even though they have the most users and the most developers, it's... What do I want to say?
It doesn't necessarily mean that that's the perfect audience for you. That's one thing that I can add to that. And I mean, I feel that for us, for example, I mean, we have again 1.7, almost 1.8 million users, and I think we have like 500 users on Telegram. So it really depends strongly on what you're doing, where you can be big.
I think it really depends on what is your target audience and with what messaging network I can reach my target audience.
Alright guys, as you can see we are a little bit tired today. We've both had a tough week so far and a little bit ill. So ask any questions if you'd like. We'll answer in the next show and we'll be back next week.
Bye.
Bye.